Mr. Byron Encalade, my guest here, who has accompanied along the Gulf Coast there in the fishing and seafood business. He has a boat and a trucking company. You know, we're hearing now, Mr. Encalade, that the targeted date, and the truth of the matter is, when you're dealing with these kinds of catastrophes, you can't put a date or time on when you're going to have this thing remedied. So now they're talking about August. Can you afford to be out of the game that long?
No, I mean, we have no other choice. I mean, and of course, they're putting it off for August, but we know this all depends on circumstances. I mean, we're coming into hurricane season, and they're predicting a very active year. So they're saying August if everything stays perfect. Well, we know so far, if we look at the past on what we've been told, nothing we've told came true. So we have to say we're going to pray for August. Hopefully that is the turnaround where they can get this thing turned off, flood. But in reality, we have to prepare for the worst conditions. Suppose they don't get it,
Now, you're president of Louisiana Oystermen's Association. I do get how it's impacted everybody in this industry. Are you going to lose, if this thing stays out till August, are there going to be some members of your association who will be shut out of business?
That's why I'm here, that's why I'm fighting, to make sure our fisheries stay intact, because our community, that's what it survives off of. We can't afford to do anything else. A lot of these fishermen in the age between 40 and 60 years old, you can't say I'm going to pick them up and go train them for another job. And there's no other industry except very small industries that, readily draw, very few people. So basically, that community survives off the oyster industry. And without that, those bayou communities will cease to exist. And that would be a tragedy, a very big tragedy. You look at, the amount of seafood these small communities provided, put on the table for America at such a reasonable price. I mean, you can imagine it's going to affect this whole country.
What is the untold story here? And I ask you that question because if you watch the newscast, we hear about BP oil, we hear about the president, we hear about this and we hear about that. But what's the untold story here?
Well, the untold story is, from the beginning, we had concerns about these high-pressure wells. We knew in the past they have had problems controlling them on land. And when you're going 1,000 feet and going into deeper water for the first time, it's scary. We've always had in the back of our minds that something like this could happen. But when people sit saying, we've got the technology to do it, they could do it when you first issued these permits years ago. It was a concern to the communities that this situation may happen. And of course it has. And of course now, what our hardships is, then we come in here and try to engage in programs that we've just came from Katrina. And, we've been very vocal about that. We refuse to submit or entertain such programs that we went through with Katrina. We're just not going to do it. The BP insists on going that way. The claims process has never worked. We knew this from the beginning. And we've been very vocal about it. So, and then when we see the same people coming in here doing the same things they did for Katrina, we just can't accept it. We see the same games with contractors, subcontractors, and putting out, the stories where the local people are working. No, you're not. You're bringing in contractors from all over. And we're just not going to tolerate it.
Who's speaking? Who's fighting? Who's the cheerleader right now? And I'm glad to share that with us because I knew there was an untold story here that's not making CNN, that's not making MSNBC. Who's the cheerleader for the people who live there, for the people like you who own businesses, the people who work there. That's the story that's not penetrating across America. So who's helping you beat that drum?
Oh, we have Congresswoman Waters. I mean, and also Congresswoman Sheila Jackson. They've been, very helpful to us. And I think, I'm very proud of those ladies. I mean, they work hard, and they've been constantly helping us get our story out. They're visit. A lot of times, people come and they go to the popular places. Well, these Congresswoman ladies, and also we've had one of the secretaries. They came into the heart of the community and visit with the congressman. And that really resonated in our parish and our community. So, we do have some people that are working hard and trying to stay on top of BP to make sure, or to try to do the best to make them do the right thing. So I would say, of course, those ladies, those Congress ladies are basically our heroes.
That's a wonderful thing. Yeah. That's a wonderful thing. Now, you're headed to Washington when you leave here.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you going to, you tell me what you're going to the nation's capital for.
Well, we're going up there basically advocate for a better claims process to make sure BP is keeping their word to the people. And of course, the president came out and he said he's going to try to push BP to put the funds aside, and that's fine. So we just need to make sure that we're at the table to decide with those funds and how this program that's going to work. Because we know for one thing, we're not, like I mentioned earlier, we're not going to go to another road home. We're not going to give money to these agencies that have left us hanging for Katrina and expect us to sit by and wait for them again to do the same thing they did to us the first time. So we got to make sure that the funds get to the people, and the people, the fishermen themselves, are sitting at the table designing the programs to help the fishermen. And of course we want, and I've always asked for congressional oversight. We want to make sure that oversight is there in place prior to any funds.
I was about to say you want it in early.
Yeah.
There are a lot of lessons that we learned from Katrina, which wasn't very long ago. And it seems that some people already want to have amnesia, do they not?
Oh yes, absolutely. A lot of times we hear, people when they're running for an office or whatever, and they'll say things, and it resonates with the people. So we're saying the same thing. If you want a different outcome, why are you going to the same people, going down the same road with the same ideas? And so nothing's going to change as long as you have that philosophy. So what we're saying now, we're going to take a different road. And we're not going to let you go to the same people that caused us all this misery and buy you time, we just call it degrees of ideology, So we're not going to accept that. We may not have our bachelor's degrees or whatever, but we also don't have a bachelor's degree in ideology, so we're not going to allow that.
Has BP done what some companies historically have done in our communities, and that is come to the community, find somebody to put on the payroll, to send them in as an agent to work with the natives?
Well, that's always been, but this time it's not going to happen, because I was the one offered the job, and I told them point blank no.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, what capacity they wanted me to play in, it didn't matter. My responsibility is to my people and to my community and to my families. And I'm not going to, I could never. I got a job. I'm the president of the Louisiana Oysters Association. That's the oath I took, and that's where I will remain and see my fishermen through this horrible ordeal. And so those ideas of, well, maybe we could take care of him and keep him quiet, they ain't going to happen. I'm not going to take care of him. You're going to take care of the fishermen first. I can wait for mine.
Mr. Byron Encalade, President of the Louisiana Oystermen's Association, talking with us here on Inside Detroit about the impact that the BP oil spill has had on the businesses in that area, the people who work there, and the people who live there.